at Bat Out of Hell in the Steinman Suite, and I'm here with
Andrew Polec,
Simon Gordon,
and Jordan Luke Gage.
and they play
Strat.
among other characters.
Yeah.
So firstly, have you ever thought about Strat's backstory?
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe you should go first.
No, you go for it. What do you got?
I kind of had this whole like weird spiel written out about how I feel like he was a bad like kid when he was growing up, and I think he maybe got into like the wrong crowd and did some like shoplifting kind of stuff. And in my head, he was maybe taken to like this like young juvenile institute,
Mm-hmm.
and never saw his parents again from that point. And then I think in my backstory of Strat, he then kind of broke out of this institute, which is when he found his group, which became the Lost. And yeah.
Yeah, I see him as like a rebel with a cause. I didn't think a whole lot about what he was doing or what his life was like before they all got swept out to sea. I've kind of just looked at it from the perspective of why is he the leader of the gang, if you like, and I feel like he's the leader because of what happened after. So yeah, I feel like he's just the guy who he's just a bit different from the rest of them. He has something, like he has a fire that he needs to infect people with, if you like. And I think other people invest in that passion and that fire, which is what Andrew created ultimately. And I think that's why I tried not to overanalyze it. I just kind of took what Andrew had done from where I was sitting and looked at what he'd created, and then tried to put my own sort of little spin on it as well. It's almost like I invested in what Andrew had done with Strat, which is what the rest of the Lost essentially do with Strat, if you like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I approached it.
Nice.
I mean, those are all wonderful answers. I think what's so beautiful about Strat is that his story can be anything. The rehearsal process had Strat go through so many iterations of stories that as long as you're basing him off of something that you really... Goodness.
You get the soundtrack.
Yeah. Why do we have the soundtrack playing? Yeah. I think as long as you base him off of something that you personally connect with and that you are personally passionate about, regardless, Strat is going to come out of you in a whirlwind of fire, like you said, and what kind of juvenile correction that he needs.
I heard some very in-depth backstories about him. Basically, I'm like quite new to the Bat Out of Hell.
Who did you hear these in-depth stories from?
No, not from the cast. From like
At least from people who like.
yeah.
Okay.
Really? Like what?
There's a big group of people who think that Strat and Sloane were together before he became lost.
I've heard.
Who said this?
Like a lot of people.
A lot of people.
Apparently
Okay.
it's like
Well, I'm wondering if these are like
fandom
Manchester people who saw the show in Manchester, if it's like Coliseum people, or if it's like...
Well, I've heard that they think that Strat is the same age as Falco and Sloane. Like he would be the same age if he didn't freeze. And they kind of find it a bit strange that he then falls in love with
Yeah, I hadn't even thought of that.
But I don't know where this comes from.
That's part of the beauty of it, though, isn't it? They
Yeah.
just make up it's kind of what like Andrew
Yeah.
just said. It's like it can be anything. They just make up their own thing and they believe in it. So.
What do you think would happen if Raven was lost?
started out as Lost?
Like, because she might not age. Is it known that she doesn't age after the show? I'm going off on a proper tangent here, sorry.
You tell us, what do you think?
Well, I don't know what would happen. Did you see Myth, the musical? Did you see Myth 27? No. It's at the end. I'm really overthinking it. They did this thing, and you have the witches and at the end of the album, the bandmate. So at the end of the album, and she's like, it's you. And then it turns out she was actually like, wow, I was not really cool. I lost them. At the end.
I wonder if she was actually originally one of the Lost, whether Strat would have even like fallen for her, because I think one of the main qualities that he falls for is the fact that she is completely from a different world to him. So I wonder if that. Yeah.
It's got that like Romeo and Juliet parallel kind of forbidden thing going on.
I know there are also fan theories that, spoiler alert if you guys haven't seen the show, but when Strat receives blood from Raven that Strat might actually not be lost after that and just age.
Right.
So, I don't know.
Yeah,
It really,
that's a spin-off.
it's anyone's bag.
So you've kind of touched on it already, but how do you think your portrayals between you vary of Strat?
I'll say that I think Strat is always a constant, and I think when you put Strat out there in front of an audience, it's not our character anymore, it's actually the audience's character, and they make what they want of Strat. So I don't know if we're all playing Strat differently. We're kind of all going down the same path of love and basically letting the fire for the audience to let their imaginations and love run wild.
So do you have a favourite scene in the show, and does it change depending on which Raven you're playing opposite or anything?
Oh, wow.
I love the bedroom scene. But actually my favourite scene to play is the crying out loud scene in the dunes when he's, I don't know if I can say
Oh
too
yeah,
much.
I think people that watch it have seen the show.
When he's kind of coming out of this like climatic state. Is climatic a word? Climatic state. And I kind of, I like playing that like spiel of poetry that he just kind of pours out of him, and it's really interesting to like touch on those emotions which you don't normally do with a lot of other roles. So I'd say that's it.
Nice.
I like the bedroom scene as well. I feel like it shows a totally different side to Strat, because you go out and do Rev'd, which is like, he's mental, and that's his sort of animal, I'm the leader, like he's fiery and crazy, and then you see him as soon as he's lays eyes on Raven and he's kind of in her actual room, and I think it then shows you, it reminds you like actually he is 18 and he is actually still surprised and a little bit overwhelmed by stuff, and it's like an inner battle then rather than sort of just a total control of everything. And I think that's nice. It shows you a little bit of his vulnerable side.
I think those are good choices.
Yeah. So what are like some cool fan gifts you've got related to Strat?
I got one of those dolls that someone like stitched of me as Strat, and also a pocket watch which had like first Strat show engraved on it, which was cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's cool.
I know Jim, during the Coliseum run, was giving out little Prince dolls, but he had mine altered so it had like really, really long hair and like a mic wire wrapped around its neck. So, I don't know. That was cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
My agent actually gave me a beautiful gift. She gave me a guitar plectrum made out of sterling silver, and it has "The Beat Is Yours Forever" engraved on it.
wow,
That's awesome.
How
So
cool is
nice,
that?
that's
And
so
also I
nice.
love playing guitar, so like you can actually use it.
Oh,
It was such a cool
oh
little
that's
gift.
so good. That's
Yeah,
so good.
I like that one.
What are your favourite things about Strat as a character?
I think I'm kind of like jealous of of how daring he is and like his complete lack of inhibitions. I think everyone kind of wishes that they had that in their lives. Like he's got no self-consciousness. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm totally on board with that. That I feel like I've learned from Strat. I feel like because, and ultimately Andrew, without stroking your ego too.
I'm not stressed.
But I just mean you've given Strat that, and my instinct is I studied law for 5 years before I became an actor, and so instinctually I tend to like to be in control, and that tends to be my body language and the way that I communicate. And with Strat, that's like the other end of the scale. You need to not be afraid of falling over and just saying things that come to you in the moment, and it's relinquishing control. It's exactly what Jordan just said. It's this lack of inhibition that's beautiful.
I like his immortality. I don't know. I think that could probably be a blessing or a curse. Probably when you're immortal and 18 for many, many years, I'm sure you get a little bored of it. Though I'm sure like in the first few years it was probably like pretty fun.
Yeah. Strat obviously will do a lot for love. What is like the craziest thing that you have done or would do?
In real life?
Yeah.
Whoa.
I've never been that crazy. I remember when I was in primary school, I bought someone like this like chocolate love heart and engraved in it like I was obsessed with this girl called Amber when I was at school. We're really good friends now. I remember asking her outside like the language block in front of so many people if she would be my girlfriend, and she said no.
Whoa.
That was embarrassing.
Oh. And you bought her chocolate as well?
Yeah, I was like, will you be my girlfriend? She was just like, no thanks. And I just remember loads of people being stood around. Yeah.
At least she had manners.
And now we're actually really
She
good
said no
friends.
thanks.
Oh, there you go.
Maybe I'm just not remembering, but I can't think of a time when I've been that crazy.
I don't think anyone would be as out there as Strat.
Oh god, no.
Yeah, I'm not sure they would. I
He's
think,
like a lot.
I mean, equally, this probably gives you an insight into how crazy I'm not, to be honest. But when I was in school, there was a girl that I liked, and I spent a long time making her a Valentine's Day card, like just putting it together from random bits and bobs. And I'm not a very artsy person, and the card turned out really well. And I took it to school with me, and it was in my bag. And I took my moment when everyone was out of the classroom and I put it down, and then I just totally bottled it. Well, that could go in your book, actually. That's a good one.
Bottled it?
Yeah, I bottled it.
Oh, yeah.
What does that mean?
I like chickened out.
Oh man.
There's one. So
I'll write that one
I
down.
bottled it, and I took the card back. So, I mean,
Oh.
I'm not even crazy enough to give someone a Valentine's
Oh.
card yet.
Oh, that's
So-
a sad thing.
I have since, but yeah.
You gave the card to her later?
You have to
No.
give it to someone else.
She probably doesn't even, I don't think she even knows that was the thing that happened. That
still have the
Do
card?
you want to shout her out?
I wish
No, she'll know.
I wish I still had the card. I don't.
What was her name?
She was called Emma. I
Emma?
hope she watches this. That would be amazing.
Goodness gracious. If we're talking about like school or secondary school love, I was in kindergarten, which I don't know how old that is for you guys.
It's like
Nursery?
nursery. Yeah.
Nursery?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe like just after nursery?
Okay.
Is it like 6?
Like 5, 6.
Yeah, like
5, 6?
primary
Okay.
school.
Okay. And I don't know. I like knew this girl was the one, and I said to her like right before we sat down for class, I was like, "Will you marry me?" And she was like, "Yes."
Oh.
And I was like, "Wow, my life is set." I'm like 6 years old, and I know what I want to do with the rest of my life.
Well, one success story.
Yeah. That didn't last, but yeah.
Did you get married though? Did you have a ceremony?
Can't remember.
I don't know. I think we like kissed during like recess, but that was like maybe
Seal
it.
the deal.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
So,
Finally, if you could switch with any character in the show, who would you switch with?
Can it be male or female?
Yeah, anyone.
I think maybe Zahara,
Yeah.
just because of the way that the character commands the stage.
Mm.
I think that would be a lot of fun to like play around with. And she has amazing songs.
I'd probably switch with Raven just
Yeah.
to see what the other side of the I don't know, love
Yeah. Like.
entanglement is like.
I think I'd like to switch with Tink
Oh.
to see what the other side of that is like
Yeah.
as well, because Strat's obviously different in terms of he's the leader of the Lost, but then Tink is like the odd one out for a totally different reason, because he's obviously feels he's not caught up with the rest of them yet, so he's kind of frustrated in a different way. I think it'd be interesting to play Tink. And he's got a beautiful song.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
Lovely song.
Very true.
Yeah. Okay, so it's game time. Now, the game is to complete the lyrics.
Okay.
I've tried to pick ones that you might not know, but you're probably going to know all of them.
Right.
So,
Are they all from the show?
Well,
Yeah. but I tried to pick songs that I don't think you sing. First up, and though I pleaded and I begged him. This is the easy one.
Oh.
Letting you in easy.
Not to walk out that door.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Pack his bags and turn right away.
Oh, you know the extras.
How much are we supposed to do?
Okay, this one is kind of hard, and it might actually be the incorrect lyric because I googled it.
Okay.
He's taking a pretty big lead out there, almost daring him. ...
That's the speech from Paradise.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, okay, yeah, the baseball speech. I have no idea.
Do we need to know the next lyric?
Yeah,
He's taking a pretty big lead out there. What's the
almost daring him.
almost daring him?
Yeah.
I have no idea. I was not expecting to get the baseball speech.
I'm gonna say that's the wrong lyric.
Oh. Okay.
What is it?
His answer is to try and pick him off.
Oh,
Is that correct? Who knows?
Could be.
But
I think
I
that's.
had to Google
I think
that.
that's
The
your
speech was like a
challenge.
million.
okay. Anyone that knows?
Yeah.
let us know. And suffocation in the
Fatal
something,
Act?
something, something.
Fatal.
Close. Something.
In the something fatal.
Yeah.
Wait, could you sing it
Lonely?
a little bit?
Is it lonely?
And suffocation in the
Dirty Fatal Air.
Yes. It's all I really need to make me stay.
These are good
That's
ones.
Raven.
What?
That's Raven's song.
Oh gosh, heaven can wait.
Just like a child.
The game.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Maybe this is something with an office in town.
Witch Doctor.
Which does it?
Yeah, good. We were ready for something and we wanted the
Salvation.
No.
No?
Oh.
And we wanted them all.
Yeah.
Oh, it's objects.
Yeah.
And that's the Kenny, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is that the Kenny verse?
We were ready. Oh,
The
I'm
concentration.
literally
is
we're
so
on
good.
stage every night at this point as well.
yeah,
Okay.
we've got no
It's like
excuse.
something you did that would be fun, like
Adventure?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to try and rhyme
Ah,
it.
it is adventure.
This is the last one. Ever since I can remember, you've been hanging around this joint. You've been trying.
To look away,
Yeah.
and now you finally get the point.
Yeah. There you go. Oh, we ended on
that was
too
fun.
easier one. Should have done a harder one.
Oh, they were
Okay,
good.
that was
They were
good.
perfect
Yeah, you were
level.
good.
No, it's for some reason when you say them
Yeah, they sound.
Yeah.
and there's no music.
So
I have
I'm
no
a-
idea.
Yeah. No, it's us. So we are now setting up the whisper challenge. We'll see how it goes.
I remember everything!
That was so good.
That was good.
And they've blown up the YWCA.
The
like
number
a
one.
giant balloon.
The number one.
Again.
And they've blown up the YWCA.
At the moment, number one is
And they've blown up the
The grown-up.
YWCA like a giant balloon.
they've blown up
and
the
set it-
YMCA, the YWCA like a giant balloon.
Good.
I thought you were telling me the number one at the moment.
You're talking really loud.
Am I talking real loud?
Yeah.
Hey guys, this is such a fun game.
Okay.
Can you hear us? You can't hear us.
Their heads rocking with rodents, motorcycles reproduce in.
I have no idea. One more time.
Their heads rocking with rodents.
Oh, their heads rocking with rodents.
Yes.
Great.
This is so good.
I might throw a curveball. Oh no. Paradise by the dashboard light. My accent won't help you, will it?
One more time.
Paradise by the dashboard light.
Pair of dice. Oh, paradise by the dashboard light.
Should we give him like something not from the show?
Yeah, just the show.
What should we say?
Or like something that was cut.
Oh yeah, what was cut?
Just won't quit.
Yeah, what the lyrics?
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but it just won't quit.
I don't know what it is, but it just won't quit.
What?
I don't know what it is, but it just won't quit.
I don't want any kids. But It's just a quilt. Oh, okay. I don't know what it is, but it's my quilt.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the best I've ever seen anyone do that game. I don't want any kids, but it's just a quilt.
New lyrics.
Oh, jeez, I actually don't actually.
Should we
know
like
this
make
lyric.
something up?
Yeah.
Well,
What's
the
like-
line from anything for love when you hose me down with
Holy water.
you hose me down with holy water when it gets too hot.
We don't speak with holy water.
Ooh.
Something holy water?
Yeah.
Uh,
You hose me down with holy water.
Will you hose me down with holy water when it gets too hot?
There we go.
Here we go. Out of the frying pan.
Out of the frying pan.
Nailed it straight away. Should we give him a random one?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, what's Strat's favourite food? Like,
Cheese, I don't know. Is it-
Peaches.
what do you think it's peaches? Okay, sure.
Strat.
Strat.
Yeah, well, he's so good at this. I like peaches.
I like pigeons.
Peaches.
Pictures.
Peaches.
I like pigeons.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah. So,
We'll end it on that.
well done.
What did you say?
It was
You're-
peaches.
Again. Did you say I like pigeons?
Peaches.
Ah.
That's the end. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
And thank
Well
you.
done, well done. Round of applause. So, come see Bat Out of Hell at the Dominion Theatre,
Yeah.
and you're extended till
January.
You're extended till
January.
January the 5th. Sing-along shows.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm really up for that. So,
First one's the 28th of August.
Mm.
yeah.
Sweet.
So,
Wear
Come on.
something cool.
Yeah.
Dress as a bat.
All the time.
well, thanks.
Hey.
Bye.
Bye.
Strat on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Strat.
Oh, sorry. Did you want to join?
Oh.
Oh.
Okay.
Cool.
Thanks.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.